front wing, and Karun Chandok went off into the gravel a long time ago, handing the team championship to the Campos team this season.
Well, it's been a fair few changes in the running order just now, and just looking back behind Maldonado, we've got Giorgio Pantano trying to catch up as well, up into this lead group. He's champion, he doesn't really have anything much to prove, but he does want to try and finish his season on a high in this Sunday race. And well, he's gaining slightly, but to be honest, doesn't quite have the wet weather pace on an empty piece of racetrack. It's just that the cars in front are holding each other up massively.
At the moment, Romain Grosjean is 9/10 of a second behind David Valsecchi. Valsecchi 2.5 seconds behind Rodan Rodriguez, but lapping almost a second a lap quicker than Rodriguez at the moment. Well, they're not making a huge amount of impression, it seems, from those pictures. There goes D'Ambrosio through ahead of Lucas Di Grassi. The official gap is 0.8 of a second, and then 0.3 of a second back to Pastor Maldonado, who gave us such a thrilling race yesterday. One, of course, by Lucas Di Grassi, but great charge from Maldonado through the field. What's the gap now between this little trio? D'Ambrosio, Di Grassi, Maldonado separated by 1.2 seconds, the three of them, and it's Di Grassi just going to have a little look down the inside. He'd have been ambitious, so thought the better of it. Oh, and Maldonado squeezing right up on the Brazilian through that first chicane and looking very unsteady under braking.
Well, it is unsteady under braking. It's really, really slippery. A little bit bumpy as well, but you're arriving at super high speed, probably about 180, 190 miles an hour in these conditions. It's more like 200 in the drive, but your braking point is so much earlier, your grip level so much lower in the wet weather. It's very, very difficult. And really, you know, it's no disgrace to go straight through a chicane, because most of these drivers, either today or yesterday, have done exactly that. If you're pushing hard, you're on the limit, and if you go over the limit on the braking area, you've got no chance of making the corner.
I think it actually has stopped raining this morning. Certainly looking out of our commentary box window, I can't see any rain, but very damp still as Di Grassi moves to the right-hand side and on the run down out of the second Lesmo towards Ascari, gets past Jerome D'Ambrosio. Now, can Maldonado get past as well? The Venezuelan tried it, but ran really out of straight in which to achieve the move. Di Grassi moves up into fourth place. And oh, very unstable coming out of the chicane, the Ascari chicane there. But moving up into fourth place, will definitely finish runner-up in the championship the way it's standing at the moment. Maldonado now on D'Ambrosio, round through to the Parabolica, switches to the inside. Has he got Di Grassi in his sights? Can he make it stick? No, he can't. Fabulous move to get past D'Ambrosio. Maldonado really going for Di Grassi once again.
Well, Maldonado nearly taking two places in one go, out braking D'Ambrosio. Meanwhile, Lucas Di Grassi, I think now slightly on the defensive, slightly on the cautious mode, really braking a little bit early for Parabolica, but nearly lost out as a result. But he's got Maldonado, who doesn't have to be cautious. He's got nothing to be cautious about. So this will be an interesting one now. How carefully does Lucas want to drive, and how desperately does Pastor Maldonado want to get on and up and try and get into the podium places?
If he wanted to, he could just let Maldonado past and then still finish runner-up in the championship. But after yesterday's battle, I wouldn't imagine he wants to give the Venezuelan any bragging rights on the track, riding on board with Lucas Di Grassi here. And that's how he managed to get past Jerome D'Ambrosio. The Belgian ran wide coming out of the second Lesmo.
Easy pickings when the car in front's done that, no momentum, and there's the move. And as I say, Maldonado nearly pulled it off, but just went a bit too fast into the Parabolica as Lucas Di Grassi was able to get back on the gas. Well, so Maldonado was still struggling to get the car turned in. He is behind Lucas Di Grassi still, but looking quite menacing.
And the leader is still Rodan Rodriguez, 1.5 seconds clear of David Valsecchi. Back now with Bruno Senna in 10th place, but for how long? Has Ho Pin Tung in his sights, going down towards Ascari, under braking, passes the Trident into the chicane, and very nicely through the chicane as well. Senna up into 9th place, still though out of the points, and the man ahead of him at the moment, Giorgio Pantano.
Well, Pantano now right up behind Sebastian Buemi, who in turn is stuck behind D'Ambrosio. D'Ambrosio seems to be lacking a little bit of pace now as the track potentially dries up slightly. It's becoming less wet and more greasy. seemingly the setup on D'Ambrosio's car not really liking it, and Pantano really looking like the man on the move at the moment. Maybe they set the car up for these slightly drying conditions.
Yeah, moves to the left-hand side of Sebastian Buemi. Is he going to try and go around the outside? Has he got the room to do it? Buemi just squeezes through on the inside ahead of Pantano, and then just gives a little tap to D'Ambrosio out of the chicane. D'Ambrosio really slowly away from that first chicane, and Buemi giving him a tap from behind. And if the Belgian didn't know that Buemi was there before, he certainly will now. Through the Parabolica, two cars following behind each other, and then Giorgio Pantano waiting to pick up the scraps as well. Towards the chicane they come now, the Della Roggia. Buemi and D'Ambrosio go straight on. You can see that coming. Slip back behind Pastor Maldonado. But look at the advantage they gain, because look how further back Pantano is now, because he actually took the chicane properly.
Again, in a situation like this, even though your positions don't change, you are actually meant to just lift off and drop back to the car that was behind you and really lose any of the advantage you've gained. Here they are, wheel to wheel, both of them braking far too late to make the corner. I think Buemi looking like he wanted to. D'Ambrosio just a bit too fast, clips the curve, wasn't able to actually turn left enough, and they straight line and live to continue. But well, there's Petrov. He's not continuing at all, is he?
No, he has retired. As you can see, watching from the pit wall now, his season is over. Pretty much finished yesterday by the accident involving himself and Javier Villa. Not his fault, of course. Now Pantano pulls out from behind Sebastian Buemi. Towards the Parabolica they come. Pantano, can he switch into the inside? No, just tucks in behind Buemi, going through the final turn as we now go down to the main straight. And David Valsecchi, fastest man on the track, told you he was gaining on Rodan Rodriguez. Not just gaining, getting past. The man on pole is back out in front once again, past Rodan Rodriguez into the first chicane, and the Durango leads here in his home race. David Valsecchi back ahead of Rodan Rodriguez.
Just about managed to get the car stopped to turn right into turn one, was very slow through turn two, the left-handed part of the chicane, and just really had to block the road so he could get the power on and get away. But good move, well done there from Valsecchi. Now let's see what he can do. Now he's in the lead.
Right, he's in the lead. Lucas de Grassi's running fourth, but has now just picked up a drive-through penalty for causing an avoidable collision. The stewards have decided that Lucas de Grassi needs to come into the pits.
Well, you know, fair enough if they're going to try to be consistent with these calls. He did harpoon Mike Conway out of the way fairly comprehensively, out of the race fairly terminally for Mike Conway, so he doesn't get any recompense, he doesn't get anything back from this penalty. But Lucas de Grassi will get a drive through. It was a straightforward collision. Lucas de Grassi's nose cone damaged, Mike Conway's rear end completely rearranged, and his race over.
So that now means that Lucas de Grassi coming in now, we can see a replay of the incident. Bruno Senna taken out with it as well. De Grassi taking out Mike Conway, who is now not racing. And we can just see one more time here. Senna spinning a little earlier and going straight across and onto the track, and that's what drops him back into close company once again with de Grassi and Maldonado. So Rodriguez leads from Valsecchi, Grosjean, that man de Grassi, and Pastor Maldonado and Jerome D'Ambrosio. They're the top six, but Sebastian Buemi will move up into the top six because de Grassi has to come into the pits. And as it stands at the moment, Romain Grosjean catching Bruno Senna for the runners-up position in the 2008 championship. 12 laps to go though, anything could still happen. Welcome back to Monza. Rodan Rodriguez and Romain Grosjean dueling for second and third place at the moment. You just saw David Valsecchi skip through. He's in the lead and opening up his gap at the moment. Rodriguez has Grosjean bearing down on him, but Grosjean really on the charge here, because with Bruno Senna out of the points and down in 9th place, he can maybe sense, Chris, that this runners-up spot might be his after all, with Lucas de Grassi into the pits for a drive-through penalty. Well,
again, he doesn't have a great deal to lose, so he's just going to go for it. He's up there in third place, but you know, he's had plenty of third places this year. He's been on the podium. He wants to go for a win here, and if he does that, if he takes that attitude, he could potentially sneak that second place spot in the championship. Diving still down the inside, looking for the grippy part, braking and braking out, braking miles